and due to some complications here and there, you just feel like, hey, this situation or this condition wasn't handled well by this doctor, or that they didn't treat it as urgently as they ought to, or that instead of treating the patient first, they were demanding for monies, or they were demanding for this and this and this, and of course because of that you think the patient died. We've all heard stories like that, and recently a story like that was trending on social media. If you go to the hashtag Justice for Peju, you see also Justice for Molara. There's so many hashtag Justice for this and Justice for that. And I'm going to use this Peju Uboma, this lady, as our anchor story for this discussion today. I'm also going to be speaking to a doctor, to be hearing from a doctor's perspective, because of course social media is awash with a lot of people calling for doctors to be accountable, calling for hospitals to be accountable. The hospital in question is Premier Hospital, one of the very, very expensive hospitals in Lagos. We all know those hospitals, where before they even admit you, some of them, sometimes they will ask for, very exorbitant prices. But let's look at this story. The lady is called Peju Uboma. She's been trending on social media for about a week now, thereabout. If you go to the hashtag Justice for Peju, you see a story of where a family is accusing a hospital of negligence in death of Lagos chef. Peju Uboma is the CEO of the founder of I Love Desserts. She's very popular in Lagos. Her desserts are very well sought after, and she's a Lagos-based chef. And now her husband is accusing, and her family basically accusing Premier Specialist Medical Center in Lekki of unprofessional conduct resulting in the woman's untimely demise. There's a timeline of 2 days of this unfortunate situation. Mrs. Uboma, until her death, was the founder and chief executive officer of the pastry company. What apparently happened is that she obviously had fibroid, and she had decided to check herself into Premier Hospital in order to get the fibroid removed. We've all heard of people who have had fibroids removed. For a lot of people, it didn't even seem like such a big procedure. Now, apparently, after her fibroid, I'm paraphrasing now because this story is long and I need to get my guest to come on and speak to me on this situation. According to the statement, she walked into the hospital by herself unaided, as it was by no means an emergency surgical procedure. She had concluded all the necessary tests required before the surgery, including ECG, PCV, and COVID-19 tests. Her vitals were okay, and she had no pre-existing conditions prior to surgery. All payments were made for the preliminary test. The hospital demanded the account be funded to the tune of 1.5 million naira, and the family deposited 1 million naira immediately. The surgery was carried out on the morning of Friday, 23rd April 2021 by Dr. Akishiku Iwu Asemota Arena and some other medical personnel in Premier Specialist Hospital, Victoria Island. Now, after the surgery was done, Mrs. Uboma apparently complained of intense abdominal pain and discomfort to her husband, who thought it was normal and temporal since she had just come out of surgery. However, her blood pressure dropped to as low as the range of 50-30. The doctors then gave her a blood transfusion because she had lost a lot of blood during the surgery. Early on Saturday morning, she told her husband that the veins on her hands had collapsed and the hospital wanted to give her fluids on a vein close to her neck and collarbone. She also mentioned that the doctor said her kidneys were not functioning optimally, and the consultant nephrologist had been called in to come in that Saturday morning. I'm trying to skip this story. By Saturday evening, she had been given 3 pints of blood. And also it's worthy to note that none of the gynecologists who performed the surgery attended to her throughout that Saturday, despite all her pain and concerns expressed by her husband. Saturday evening, her blood pressure dipped further. Her doctor told her husband that they would need to move her to the ICU. He was asked to pay an additional 1.5 million naira before she could be moved to the ICU, and he paid the money without delay. Peju was admitted into the ICU immediately after the payment. One of the doctors had told her husband that he needed an additional 3 pints of newly donated B+ blood, and as Premier Specialist Hospital did not have any in its blood bank, her husband went about looking, and of course he got the blood, and I believe that they administered it to her. By 6:30 a.m. on Sunday, her husband was surprised to find out that his wife had been placed on a respirator, and the doctor told him that her condition had deteriorated throughout the night. Her husband saw that she looked pale and her eyes had been taped as if to keep them closed, but she was still breathing and the monitors were reading. One of the another interesting part of this story is that they had a doctor friend in the UK who her husband had even told the story to, and the doctor said he wanted to speak to the doctor here because he suspected that she was bleeding internally, but her husband said the doctors here did not pay any attention to the alarm that the UK doctor was raising. As they said, it took 3 hours before she was moved to another hospital, and immediately she arrived there, she was met by their medical team and taken to the ICU. Her husband was asked to pay another 1 million at this hospital, and he made the payment immediately. The family noted that Mrs. Uboma was pronounced dead an hour after she was transferred to Evercare Hospital. All right, so like we know, social media is the hashtag is going on social media, and a lot of people are talking about this. And so I wanted to get a doctor's perspective, because people have said, okay, where do you draw the line, or how do you decide whether, of course, this family are just grieving, or and then also to the question of when do we start to call doctors accountable? We always talk about the Hippocratic Oath when we mention doctors. And I've got a doctor here. He's the Chief Consultant Forensic Pathologist, University College Hospital, Ibadan. And he's going to be talking to me here. He's Dr. Uwam Eze. Good morning, doctor. Hello, good morning, Doc. Just 1 second. Let me try and figure out why this, I cannot hear you from the sound. Just hang on with us for a second. All right. Hello, Dr. Eze. Okay. I can hear you, but it's not coming out as loudly as I want to. So let me put you on speaker. Hello, good morning, Dr. Eze.
Good morning, Ronke.
Fantastic. I can hear you now. Thank you so much for joining me on the program. Thank you very much for your time. All right. Without further ado, Dr. Eze, I know you know the story of this Akpeju Uboma that we've anchored our discussion on this morning. And I'm sure you've read up on it as well. And what is also interesting is that a lot more people are now coming up using the hashtag justice for this, justice for that, to complain about, negligence in hospitals, in Nigerian hospitals, with regards to their family members, etc. What do you think? I know you've read this case. What do you think about this case? Just a short on your thoughts on this.
To start with, it is regrettable to lose any patient. And I think it's condolences to the family of the deceased. And I think we also need to bear in mind that a lot of people suffer distress when such incident like this happen. So not only the family members, but also even the healthcare team and their immediate communities happen. But what we need to do is to step back a little bit and ask ourselves questions.
Okay.
Because there is no way we can discuss. I've read about this issue. I can't deny it. Mm-hmm. But I don't have enough information even to comment objectively on this case. Now, because when you have a patient come to the hospital, one of the things we cherish in medical profession is that confidentiality between a patient and the doctor.
Exactly.
And we do everything to preserve it, to preserve the dignity of the patient and their families.
Right.
So I'm a little bit uncomfortable when you read things like this and you begin to wonder what would the disease do if the disease were to give a mandate about discussions regarding their medical records in public fora. So when incidents like this happen, there are already mechanisms in place to addressing them. And these mechanisms in place, we take into consideration the total picture. We have to look at what exactly happened. So before we even mention things like negligence, because we are not there yet, we need to understand exactly whether what happened will fit into negligence. There are clear criteria for that. So it's regrettable and very sad that a family lost their loved ones. But if we don't want to throw the baby and the bathwater, we need to pull back a little bit. And I think that is where some sanity needs to come in place, especially in the public domain, social media. You can joke with a lot of things. I mean, you can mess with metal and throw it away. But when it comes to human lives, we don't have
a bit more delicate.
Yes, once we lose someone, we've lost someone. So that delicate relationship between a doctor and a patient must be preserved at all times. And if there is any issue, we need to dig deep and understand what exactly happened.
Okay.
So that trust is held sacrosanct and healthcare delivery could continue to
Absolutely.
improve for all.
And I can imagine, you saying, people shouldn't need to resort to social media in order to get justice. And I'm sure you know a lot about this because, UCH, oftentimes I hear so many stories about UCH, so I'm sure that you've had, your share of stories like this as well. But what usually, when the families are grieved with how maybe their family member has been treated in a hospital, what is the right channel or the right process if they felt like they needed to get justice, Dr. Eze?
That's a good question. But we have to go back to basics. You see, if you look at our healthcare delivery, especially in this part of the world, sometimes I sit back and I think we perform miracles here. If you look at this circumstance in which we practice medicine here, it takes a lion's heart to be a medical doctor. Now, having said that, sometimes bad things happen. Now, we need to take this opportunity to look at our clinical governance and how we do things within the hospital. And one item I would like to emphasize is communication. We need to look at our communication channels with patients, their relations, and people of influence around them. Now, this. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but everybody knows that people go through some grief stages. And so you cannot predict how people respond when they lose loved ones.
Yes.
But there should be mechanism in place. There is a concept that I've tried to sell in this part of the world, what we call clinical liaison service, where we proactively engage families of loved ones, not only when incident had happened, but to prepare them. Because there is no medical intervention that is 100% guaranteed. Even when you go to remove an nail, something could go wrong. There could be an unusual reaction for a particular patient.
Right.
So every patient is like a fingerprint. There are no two fingerprints that are the same. So I think proactively we need to have a kind of clinical liaison service in all hospitals where we engage with families, communicate with them, tell them what to expect, tell them also what could happen, and prepare them. And also let them know that there are mechanisms in place to seek redress.
Right.
We have established mechanisms from hospitals involved to outside of the hospital.
Right.
It's not always that, first of all, we just shoot to the moon. We start from the hospital itself. The hospital needs to set up a mechanism to investigate what happened, have a report that could be shared with all concerned parties. That could be the end of it.
Right.
At that stage. Everybody could be satisfied, and life moves on. And if they're not satisfied, there's also a mechanism in the Medical and Dental Council Act of Nigeria. Absolutely. But none of this involves social media trial. None of this involves public trial. It's a disservice to the memory and dignity of the deceased and their loved ones to be discussing their details. Some of them may not even be accurate of medical records in the public. That is sacrosanct.
Okay.
So data protection and confidentiality to me, they are key issues.
Right.
So yes, clinical liaison service is a mechanism to proactively engage and ensure that communication is maintained with family members.
Right. Okay, Dr. Eze. Right. I will come back to why some families resort to social media in a moment. But let's go to this Hippocratic oath that everybody seems to pull up every time there's some issue with medical doctors or health personnel. People pull up this So all doctors take this Hippocratic oath. Yes, Dr. Eze. And I've read the ethics and I've read part of it, and it talks about how it says that the health of my patient will be first consideration. But we often is this Hippocratic oath? Are we over analyzing it, Dr. Eze? Is the Hippocratic oath, does it really say that the health of the patient and the patient must be put first? So when we see cases of somebody saying, "Oh, go and bring money before I treat," is that going against the Hippocratic oath?
Again, Ronke, we need to situate it in context.
Okay.
You see, you can't have the clouds without the sky.
All right.
You see, when you isolate something like this and we discuss, go and bring money, look at our healthcare system here. How many people have health insurance? How many people have health insurance? Comprehensive health insurance that you can walk in now and your doctor will not think about any other thing, but will just want to ensure that you're treated. Can you go to a drug manufacturer and say Hippocratic oath? Please, can I have these medications? Can I have this equipment? Can you tell your staff, if you're running a private hospital, or Hippocratic oath, you go home this month, there's no salary? We need to separate it. The Hippocratic oath talks about the real issue of care, that the health and the primary consideration should be the health of your patient, which means that you have to devote all your knowledge, all your talent, all your skills, all your dedication, all your commitment, everything to saying that the patient is number one. But we have to ask, you cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. So who pays? So these are bigger questions about universal healthcare insurance cover for people. If you're going to pay out of pocket and you get to a hospital, for example, and the doctor is going to use all the consumables he's got for other patients to treat one patient, where is equity and justice in other patients that are in the hospital who will not receive care because one intervention that has no funding at all has consumed resources? Having said that, when patients come with emergency, whether there is money or no money, we have an obligation in an emergency to keep patient alive. But after that particular stage that the patient is resuscitated, further intervention may require resources that may even have tripped the capacity of the hospital, that they may even need to transfer to a bigger hospital or to intensive care unit. So please, we have to separate healthcare financing, costing and all that from the Hippocratic oath that says that you should devote all your attention to ensuring that you are not distracted. You are focused on this patient, and this patient is your primary concern. But we have to separate how do we treat this patient in the absence of resources. How do we treat patient? Even when you go to some government hospitals, the chief executives there are just scratching to make things happen. The funding of health in this country, you can compare it to even other African countries and see whether we are having enough funding for healthcare system in this country. So please, it's a very complex question that you've asked, and there are no easy answers. But we have to delicately separate the issue
and I understand
pay
that,
attention to professionalism.
Absolutely, I understand that. I believe that even when people say Hippocratic oath all the time, the doctor has to feed his family. The doctor needs equipment in order to provide the services that people want, etc. So I understand that. Yes, we have a fundamental problem, which is our healthcare system. But obviously, also people often complain that our doctors here often have this detachment, which I'm going to bring back this Peju Uboma case again, because apparently after her surgery and she had been complaining, the doctors that had operated on her, it just feels like sometimes, and I get it, perhaps maybe society and things that are happening is affecting everyone, but the fact that it feels like doctors here sometimes can be very detached from their patients, is that a normal thing? Because oftentimes people say, oh, you shouldn't be too emotionally attached to your patients, but shouldn't there be a level of I don't know if you understand what I mean. What is it that has made quite a number of doctors so detached from their parents that even when your patients are complaining of certain things, sometimes it feels as if you're saying you're overreacting? Why is that, Dr. Izzy?
Okay. You see, we don't know. We don't know what happened in that place. Now, what you're sharing with me is what you heard from a party.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you, I work in a hospital, and I work in a big hospital, arguably the biggest hospital in this country and perhaps in sub-Saharan West Africa. Look, when you see what doctors do and the level of care and the system of care delivery, you can appreciate the attention some doctors put into their work. So I can answer that question about being detached in this particular case. Because you need to hear from the doctors and know exactly what happened. I know doctors that we go to their patient's side by 12 midnight, 1 a.m. when nobody is there, when no relation is no longer there. They will go and check everything and make their documentations. I know doctors that will not sleep at night. Maybe by 3 a.m. they just get in, call somebody to go and check up a patient. All these pieces of information may not be known to the family. I mean, medicine is not a showmanship. Of course, there is a level of interaction and familiarity you should have with your patients. And I know consultants that know their patients by name. They call them by name. They know everything about them. But you see, what I'm saying in this particular case is that we don't have enough information to
absolutely.
To
okay, so let's stay away from
the doctors were aloof.
Oh no, but there's been an autopsy, and then obviously there was internal bleeding. That has been established with regards to this case, Dr. Eze. So an autopsy has been conducted, and it does feel like perhaps they left her, and they should have taken action when they shouldn't. But one more question, because you work in a UCH where we hear lots of reports, and I know that sometimes bad reports outweigh the good. I know that it's not like UCH is all bad, but are there regulatory bodies that determine, for example, if you have more deaths and more cases of negligence than we have, are there bodies that regulate how much how many people die in a hospital, or is that something that nobody can do anything about? So, for example, if we hear more about people who are dying and people who are dying because action wasn't taken, are there bodies that regulate that in health facilities in Nigeria?
Ronke, we may delve into discussing a kind of manufacturing outfit where we look at good and bad products.
Right.
Ronke, it is complex.
Okay.
Let me use this as an example. If you look at the entire country and look at Southwest,
right,
the cases that come to UCH are those cases that may have gone through perhaps primary health care, maybe secondary health care, maybe some private hospitals, and they've come to a level whereby they are at a late stage and they are coming. And because we are an ordinary tertiary institution,
right,
we handle complex cases. Now, when you are dealing with that kind of case and you are looking at the outcome, you may be mistaken.
Right.
Because the patient selection is totally different. And even having said this, a vast majority of medical intervention in our hospitals result in a good outcome for the patient and their caregivers.
Right.
Now, the ones that hit the airwaves that is here like this, they are in the minority. That's not the majority outcome.
They are in the minority, but that's what people hear more of. I definitely can understand.
So you need to look at the patient selection.
Okay.
You need to look at how the patient came in, what they came in with, the stage of their illness. All these things will determine their outcome.
Right.
So the hospital is not, if you hit 10 deaths per month, now we shut you down. No.
Okay.
This hospital received very less stage 10 patients in one day who are only coming at terminal phases. All the 10 patients may die.
Okay.
That does not mean that the hospital is recording higher mortality due to poor practice.
Okay.
It's just because the patient selection is totally different from somebody who just walks in and wants to
for a headache.
I want to just have a minor. Exactly.
Unfortunately,
so it's a complex consideration.
Yes. Unfortunately, Dr. Eze, unfortunately, our time has been cut short a bit. So unfortunately, I have to wrap it up right now. But I want to thank you so much, and I really hope that we can have this conversation extensively next time. But unfortunately, our time has been cut short. So thank you so much, Dr. Eze, for speaking to me in this short time with regards to this subject. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Ronke.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Like I said, unfortunately, our time has been cut short, so that's all I can do with Dr. Eze right now. And I know a lot of people have questions and would like to talk about this, but we'll revisit this topic some other time. We're going to take a short commercial break. When I come back, for people who are looking for opportunities in the agricultural sector, you need to stay tuned. I'll be right back with something for you. Don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Now, where's that big malt? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my oga's work, then oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic Malt. Dubic Malt. Crown the moment.
Hey, why did you put it in the pot like that? You were supposed to break it first.
Say who? This is how I cook my pasta. Besides, it's golden penny pasta. It's non-sticky, so it doesn't matter.
But I want to cook it with meatballs mixed with pepper sauce and cheese.
Go ahead and enjoy your golden penny pasta just the way you want it. Golden penny pasta is made with durum wheat, which contains protein, and it's non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat just the way you want it. With golden penny pasta, your way is best.
You fit fly. Bàbá gbogbo wọn tún gbé tuntun dé. Kò dìgbà tá a bá nà ká sókè ká tún fòun hàn. Ká ṣètò ìrìnàjò afẹ́ kó dùn kí gbogbo kan sí. You fit fly ní bàbá àgbà.
Ṣé o máa pọ́n lè fọ́? You fit fly. A ò gbé
láàkó ọ̀lùdé yìí orílẹ̀-èdè Jordan la tún lọ níbi tí àwọn àyè àgbàyanu méje lágbàáyé kalẹ̀ sí. The 7 wonders of the world, Great Pyramid of Giza, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, ilé ìjọsìn Artemis ní Ephesus àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Hausa ní Ghana Fiji ìròyìn tó àmójúbà ẹni tó bá débẹ̀ ló lè ròyìn. Láti wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lọ sórílẹ̀-èdè Jordan Friday 30 oṣù keje July 30 lágbèrè ní Nàìjíríà. Láfi ní o má fà kókò ṣòfò mọ́ tètè kàn sí You Fit Fly office lónìí ní Success House 7 Up Road Olúyọ̀lé Main Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní ká ẹ pè 080 25 24 92 80. Website youfitfly.com. Lákòókò holiday yìí orílẹ̀-èdè Jordan láti lọ jayé.
Àkókò ìjà tó pa bámbárì jù tá a ti ń retí ń lọ kọ́sùkọ̀ báyìí o. Kì í sí ibú yẹ̀rì láàrin jù bá náà lọ. Ó mà ṣe o. Ẹ wò bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń kú bí ojú pì. Ẹ̀ṣẹ́ àgbáwọlẹ̀ lọ́tún lọ́sí. Ó dilẹ̀ gbága yìí. Ó ṣubú yàkàtà. Ó fìdí rẹ̀ ní ìjà parí o. Kò sọ́gun mọ́ kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́. Àlùbámẹ́ ni Bọ́sìkà tó borí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Gba ìtura kíá kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀fọ́rí, ìrora àti òtútù pẹ̀lú Bọ́sìkà. Bọ́sìkà ń gba ẹ̀fọ́rí, ìrora àti òtútù lágbàwọlẹ̀ ní kíákíá. Bí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, lọ rí dókítà.
Oh, Khalifa, is that the last cup of Bonvita?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Well, you can take it.
It's okay. You have it.
No, you take it.
No, have it.
Children, you can both have some because there is more for everyone. When we show more kindness to each other, we help to spread the warmth of Ramadan. And with 10% more inside every 500-gram pack of Cadbury Bonvita, there's even more warmth to go around. Ramadan Kareem.
As the best man, I'd like to give a toast. But first, I have a few things to say. The money they are spraying the couple is reducing. It seems some people have rubbed glue under their shoes to pack it.
Clearly, he's been watching comedy nights or maybe My Siblings and I on Africa Magic Urban, DSTV channel 153. Now, you too can get inspired by our local entertainment. Get a HD decoder, dish, plus 1 month DSTV compact subscription for only 18,600 Naira. Because great stories start on DSTV.
Guys, see, once I enter for this Big Brother Naija Season 6, my fans will be called Chi-Chi Nation.
Oh, shit!
Leo, as Funke, my own fans will be called Funke 5. Titus, you go, the Titus is.
Are you ready for fame and mega stardom? Ready to cash out 90 million Naira worth of prizes? Then audition online for Big Brother Naija Season 6 for free from the 3rd to the 16th of May. Log on to africamagic.tv/BB Edition and upload a 2-minute video telling Big Brother why you should be a housemate. Participants must be 21 years and older with a valid identity document. If you audition using the early access platform, you don't need to repeat this process. Big Brother Naija Season 6 will air on DSTV and GoTV. Headline sponsor, Abeg. Associate sponsor, Patricia. Big Brother Naija is rated 18.
Now, where's that big mouth? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my Oga's work, then Oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic Malt. Dubic Malt. Crown the moment.
What do you need in a safeguard?
Children that like to play.
Them like to play.
Small pigs that must jolly.
Them like to jolly.
But remember one thing. Protect them with safeguard soap. Protect them with safeguard. Protect them with safeguard soap. From the teen and yama so the future go better.
Safeguard antibacterial soap. They come out every yama for body. It also they available for 50-gram size.
Welcome back. It's still the morning splash, and I promised you earlier that it was going to be a potpourri. That means a mix of very interesting and very educative, a lot of things you can take home. And what I'm about to do next is invite somebody who's about to bring you something that might put food on your table, literally. My guest today is Anu Oladairo, and she's from Farm Connect, Nigeria. Good morning, Anu.
Good morning, ma.
And good to have you here today. All right, so like I promised people, what you're about to tell us today is about to put food on their table. Yes. And I know that this is some sort of investment for people who work and are looking for something on the side, some kind of residual income. You're going to explain how this works for us, Anu.
Okay. I'm from Farm Connect Nigeria PSA, and our major aim is to contribute to food security in Nigeria as a whole and in Africa. So our major aim is not just to like everybody should come together, but to come together as a whole, even if you are not earning much.
Right.
But that's why we come with the program that we call AFID.
Okay.
Agricultural and Financial Inclusive for Daily Earners.
Okay.
That at least when you're earning and you're keeping your money somewhere, that means you're also making sure there's food security in Nigeria, because that money you're contributing is not really going to bank, it's going to the farm, it's working for you. And at the end of the day, you are getting back profit. You're getting back some other thing you can use to make life a good living for yourself.
Absolutely. So it's called AFID, and it's a concept from Farm Connect.
Yes.
And it's also for market women and men.
Yes, for artisan, anybody that they think they can't really bring in much money, but the little they have, they can use it to contribute to agriculture.
All right. So how does this work? Tell us what's the process. What do I need to contribute? I know there's some sort of payment that people need to make in order to be a part of this.
Okay, literally, the major thing is a form of cooperative form of a thing, whereby you contribute 500 naira daily.
Right.
We have 1,000 naira. We have 2,000
daily, every day.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have 5,000 naira. So, and it's been contributed for like 3 months.
Wow, okay.
We have the one for 6 months, we have the one for a year.
Yes.
So the 3 months, we have some interest that is being installed, that at the end of some month, you get your interest back. For that 3 months, when you contribute 500 naira daily, you get 5% on it.
Right.
So that means at the end of 3 months, you get your money back, you still get 5% on it.
Interesting.
So then 6 months of it, then we have 11% on it.
Okay.
So after contributing to 500 now, any package you want to go in for, you get 11% on it.
Right.
Or by the one for a year, you get 25% on it. And okay, fine. How can you do this? You can think, okay, fine. Should I come to your office or something like that? We have a location in each market in Ibadan, whereby people, agents get there. In case you are interested, they fill a form for you, and the form doesn't attract any money. It's free. So at the end of the day, they give you a card whereby
the form. I need you to say that because oftentimes people take advantage of schemes like this one. The form doesn't. The form is free.
The form is free.
All right.
So after filling the form and you start the package, they give you a form whereby you get to know how much you've contributed, and also there's an app that is being stated that whereby you get to follow how your money is being input on your phone. Either you're using an Android phone or a small phone, Nokia or something like that. So that's why you follow the process of the thing. And why this one is very important and very interesting is there's a package whereby there's a loan package on it. Whereby after the 3 months, because we've known you and we've known what you can do or your business.
Yes.
So we can now, okay, fine. Are you interested in collecting loan? And the loan is no interest rate.
Right. Wow.
The money you collect is what you're given back. And we have an intermediary bank, which we partner with to give the subscriber the money. So and also we have insurance cover on any of the package you are going for, either the 3 months, 6 months, or a year. At the end, maybe like all this fire insurance, accident insurance, everything is stated there that okay, fine. If anything happens, the company is going to rise and they're going to provide the insurance for the subscriber. So, and the interest of a thing is very certain. So at the end, even if you complete your month, the money will be given to you, and the percent will be given to you through your account. Not that you collect hand to hand of a thing. So everything is stated like you get it, and it's been transferred to your account straight away.
Okay, so how do people make this payment? Because you've talked about how it's not going hand to hand. So, for example, if it's a daily 500 contribution, is this something people can pay if they have everything for a month? And then how do they go to a bank? And so how does this work?
Like I said, there's an agent in each market.
Oh, right.
So once they
will contribute those, collect the monies in cash.
They go to their shop. And if you know you can't go with they come into your shop collecting the money. There's a way like you can just meet with them. They give you the account details and they mark your card.
Right.
And you see the alert on your phone instantly. That okay, fine. At the end of the day, not as if it's a scam or anything. You're going to be following the process on your phone too. So, and after then, even we have some people like maybe a teacher or a banker that partner with this package. At the end of the day, they pay once in a month.
Okay.
So that one, the person in charge will have take the card. Like okay, fine. The person has paid for a month. Instead of they going to shop and collecting the money 500 from the market people, but as a teacher or maybe a banker or anybody that is interested in the package, they get to pay at once to the account that is given to them by the agent.
All right, fantastic. So, I mean, I like that you've said it's not, I mean, there are people, depending on your salary and your earning, scale, there are market women, market men who would also be interested. And then you talked about bankers and teachers as well. So is there a peg? So, for example, are there people who have a certain earning who cannot participate in this, or anybody can participate?
And like I said, anybody can partake in it.
Okay.
Because previously in Farm Connect, what we do is all these big money to invest. But now we want something like
the lower earners
can partake in it. Because this money is not really going to the bank or we are keeping it in the bank. It's going to the farm directly.
Right. So what's the money going to be doing on the farm? It's going to be growing produce and...
Yeah, in Farm Connect, we produce majorly vegetables.
Right.
This pepperoni, everything fantastic. On the farm, vegetables. Yes. So, and we all know that, like tomatoes now, the process is like maybe like 2-3 months process before you sell to the market, and everything is complete 3 months. So by then, you're getting your money back, even if you subscribe for that 500 naira package for 3 months. So that's how they plan.
Okay. So apart from the fact that they get no interest-free loans, they get interest when they do this contribution. They get their money back, but then they also get with some interest.
Yes.
And then there's also an insurance scheme you said that they also get. So I mean, there's a lot more than just making contributions every day to this. So where can people get these forms?
Okay. For those that we have different agents in the market, like I said, but those that cannot really maybe locate the agent in the market, they can visit our office at Iwo Road. That's Obasa's Road, New Ife Road.
Okay.
The Fadu building, there's a brand building opposite Stone Hospital.
Okay.
So that's where the office is situated.
A brown building?
Yes, Fadu building.
Fadu building?
Yes.
In Iwo Road?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where the office is. And they can also reach us through our telephone number.
Okay.
You can reach us on 080-9301-6931. Let me come again. 080-9301-6931.
Okay, and she's going to say that number before she leaves. But I want you to retrace some of the things you said about this scheme as well. It's called AFIDE.
Yes.
What does it stand for again?
It's agricultural, financial, and inclusive for daily earners.
For daily earners. Yeah. So if you already have a business or you already have a job, but you're not earning too much, you just want something on the side that can be earning for you. And so what you're saying is that this scheme is it just for 3 months? Because after 3 months, then what happens?
After 3 months, you get your money back, and if you want to continue, you can just start again. You start again. It's not only 3 months; you have 6 months. Some people leave their money for 6 months. Like, okay, fine. At least they are contributing to agricultural, and they're also bringing they having savings for their future too.
Right.
Because as we all know what this nation is doing now, we need to save and we need to put in more to agriculture.
Absolutely. We definitely need to ensure that we're improving our agricultural sector, and I like that the average person can participate in this, can also benefit from agriculture, and so for me this is a win-win situation. So once again, you can go to Iwo Road, the food. What did you call the building?
Fadu House, first floor, number 1, Obasa Street, New Ife Road.
All right, in order to get your form and participate. And so you said the different contributions are from 500. What else?
500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000.
500, 1,000, 2,000. So you decide which one you can do.
Yes.
And is that daily or?
It is daily.
Daily. So if you want to even do 5,000 daily, you are allowed.
Yes.
So depending, you can cut it according to your pocket and choose to, save at your own pace. save at your own pace or invest at your own pace. And so you can calculate, for example, what percentage did you say that would they get at the end of 3 months?
For 3 months, it's 5%.
5% of your money.
Yes.
You will get at the end of 3 months.
Then 6 months, 11%.
11%.
Then a year, that's 25%.
Okay, all right. So I think it's definitely a good investment, and everybody must invest, because in these times, you can't just even depend on a salary. No matter how much you earn in Nigeria, sometimes your salary, before you know it, you've blown it. So it's always important to save for a rainy day, have an investment on the side, and I think that this is a great one. So once again, how can people reach you, or the numbers that people can call you on?
Okay, you can reach us to 080 93 01
69 31. Okay, so if you can call on that number. I know people will still be asking me after she leaves here, so she may need to say that one more time. But like you said, you can go to their office in Iwo Road as well to make more inquiries. But are there specific markets, or are your agents going to be at all the markets in your state, or the specific markets, so that if there's anybody listening to me in Bodija Market, can they find an agent there right now?
Yeah, we have agents in Bodija Market, Aleshiloye Market, Gbagi, Dugbe, all the markets in Ibadan. That's all the market.
And how should they recognize this agent so that they don't fall into the hands of a fake person?
Okay, they have their ID card on with Afide on them, and they have their T-shirts. Okay. Whether it is ash color, black, or wine color.
Okay.
There's Afide logo on it,
right?
And at the back, there's a slang there. Now we get them.
Yeah. Okay, meaning it's for the people.
Yeah,
that's really good. So it's for the people. It's not that there's some let me not say politician somewhere who's about to colobi people's money. All right. So now we get them. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Anu, for your time. Are there any little details you want to add to this? To convince people that this is the right thing to do.
I believe we can all do it together to secure food and to eradicate food security in Nigeria. We need to put more into agriculture, because daily by daily, once we do that, there will be surplus in the country, there will be surplus in Africa, and by this, with the little we have, we can contribute to agriculture.
I agree. And oftentimes when we say it's not everything that the government should do for you, yes, there's a lot that the government isn't doing in Nigeria. But we have to take our lives in our hands in Nigeria, we're not talking about carrying guns, we're not talking about abducting people and collecting ransom. This is what we mean by taking our lives in our hands. There are certain things that you do for yourself already that government ought to be doing. Providing electricity, you provide for yourself most times with generators and buying fuel. Providing water, you're the one that sinks your borehole. So with regards to agriculture as well, let us stop paying lip service to agriculture and waiting for the government to do something that we know that we're not sure they will do, in quote. So this is one way that we can improve on our agriculture ourselves. Just like how we've improved on water, electricity by ourselves, as much as that's not the ideal situation, this is another way where we can take our lives in our hands as well and, help our agricultural system so that we're the ones that live here. This, people that we keep accusing of this and that can fly in and out at any time. We're the ones that are here. So we must make sure that Nigeria is great for all of us. Thank you very much, Anu, once again for your time here. And of course, I'm sure she'll be back some other time. If you have more questions, you can call the number she's giving us, and you can get more answers and more details. Well, that's it on the Morning Splash with me today. Don't forget, at 9 o'clock, we've got Tifun Tedo. 9 all the way until 10 o'clock. And then, of course, so much more coming your way. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. It's been really, really great. I'll be back on Friday with the Breakfast Gang, so make sure to join us then at 8 o'clock on Friday. It's going to be another exclusive, amazing time talking about the hot topics of the week. Until then, I'm Ronke, Giwa, Onafuwa. God bless you. Thank you for listening.
Splash FM 105.5.
Anytime malaria show, Nakam Shalatempo. Anytime malaria come, Shalatempo. If malaria trouble you,
no let malaria comot action for your body. Nakam Shalatem will be brand of anti-malaria wey contain Artemether and lumefantrine. Shalatem na medicine from Shalina Healthcare Nigeria. Dem get Shalatem for every age group dem. Make you remember to always use Shalatem with food. If symptoms no change after 3 days, go see your doctor.
Look, Carpenter, the work no be small, we must finish this work in 2 weeks' time.
Oga me, no problem now. Shebi na Nigerian Cassis we go use for the ceiling this time.
Nigerian Cassis? Which one be that?
Oga, Cassis na the ogbonge technology for ceiling work from Nigeria too. Nigeria people wey dey build house, they like am well.
Nigerian Cassis?
Yes, so e dey fine well. E strong, e dey last well. Oga me, e no dey spread fire and even water sef e no fit spoil am. Oga me, Cassis dey different too. You fit shape am to any design wey you want.
Na money be that o.
E no cost, e dey affordable, e get value pass im money and e dey